Man, you know, when I get invited to places like this and the theme is next level, I'm a cool person to bring to the show. You know why? Because I've been at every level. I've been at all of them. See, you look at me now, you see what God has been working on for 34 years. My career is 34 years old. You seeing 34 years of God working with me. You miss the 30. I'm 62. I know you can't believe it. I know you can't. This is 62 and dripping. You know what I'm saying? This right here. They don't even make this no more. This 62 right here. Oh my God. I know you sitting there saying, he's what? Yeah, 62 sexy years old. I been through every level of life. He said something back there. He said, I come from comfortable beginnings. And I stopped because I was backstage pacing and I heard on the screen, I come from comfortable beginnings. And I stopped because who in here black come from comfortable beginnings? I don't come from comfortable beginnings. I come from the dirt. I come out of nothing. You looking at me today with all that I've accomplished because of faith. Now, when I talk to you today, I'm going to sprinkle faith in here because I can't talk to you about success without telling you about faith. You think, look here now, you think for 1 minute you're going to make it without God, you tripping. You tripping, partner. You done lost your rabbit mind if you think that you're going to make it without God. Now, you can try it. You ain't going to make it. So when he said he comes from comfortable beginnings, I'm here to tell you mine was a bit different. My father was a coal miner. My father made $5 a day with 5 kids. I'm the youngest of 5. I got 2 older brothers. Well, I had 2 older brothers. My oldest brother passed. I got 2 older sisters. My youngest brother had a birthday October 1st. My youngest brother's 73 years old. I'm the baby of the family. But I'm ballin'. I don't know what's wrong with me, man. Sometimes I know this is supposed to be a serious thing, but the gift God gave me is comedy. I can't help it. It comes out. I've been in a lot of trouble with this gift. So where I started from was my father making $5 a day. I come from nothing. I had a severe stuttering problem throughout school. I flunked out of school. I'm on my 3rd marriage. I lost everything I ever owned twice. I've been homeless and lived in a car for 3 years. We talking about next level? I'm finna show you how to get there. See, the cool thing about me is I ain't got nothing to sell you. I ain't got nothing for you. I'm just gonna tell you how you can get to the next level. Now, I've been debating on how I was gonna do this, but I thought the best way to go about this is just tell you my story. And in my story, maybe you can see some of yourself. Listen, man, anybody can be successful, but you gotta understand something. It's hard. It's hard, man. You can take all the courses you want. It's hard. You can go down there to the church and hold your hands in a prayer circle. When you get through praying, it's gonna be hard. You go to school, you can get all the degrees you want. When you get them degrees and you hang them on the wall, if you want to be successful, it's gonna be hard.
How many have major goals you'd like to achieve? Raise your hands, please. Very good. I like seeing that. I always like to ask that question, how many of you have major goals you'd like to achieve? Then I follow up with another question, because this is a crucial place in my life. Just came from the memorial services yesterday in Plano, Texas. Zig Ziglar, I remember when I first saw him speak, I knew I was looking at my destiny. I love helping people. And my goal was to be on stage with Zig and Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, Jim Rohn. These guys have gone on to the next level, but that was my goal and dream, and I was very fortunate to achieve that at a very crucial point in my life. This industry has really contributed a great deal to me. I go way back in multi-level marketing, from the days of a company called Best Line Products, a guy named Bill Bailey. He was one of the mentors of Jim Rohn, one of the greatest speakers on the planet, and Holiday Magic. At this stage of my life, and I think about all of the things that I've done, I can tell you unequivocally, to dreamers, there's no business that will contribute to your growth and development more than this industry.
The job wasn't dealing with chaos. If the person who was on the date was not inviting you into their style of crazy, that's what it is. It is an open invitation to join me in my psychotic behavior. And I am interviewing you to see if you're the same kind of crazy as me. And to all of that, God said, let there be light. Shout, let there be light. So God shines the light on it so we can see it as it is. But what you got to realize is that he's shining the light on chaos. He's shining the light on chaos. So last night we left off with that. There were a couple of things I wanted to say about that. Is that let there be light, and getting light in the evening and the morning is the first day is great. But we're not fixed yet. We just see better. No wonder Paul said, I pray that the eyes of your understanding might be enlightened. Enlightened. You're so busy trying to see me enlightened. I pray that the eyes of your understanding might be enlightened, that you might know what is the hope of his calling. 3 things he wanted us to know. I want you to know what is the hope of his calling, and that deals with what did God have in mind when he called you. These are the 3 things you need to know, and if you know this, you're a professor of life. What did God have in mind when he called you? What is the hope of his calling? What is the riches of his inheritance in the saints? Let me share this. What Paul is saying is that God took his treasure and buried it in you. You know, like the old treasure, the pirate days where they would have the gold and they would take it off someplace and bury it, or the ship would go down and it'd have the chest full of gold in it. God took his richest stuff and buried it in you. That's why Paul later says we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellent may be God and not of us. And you are carrying treasure.
The major key to your better future is you. Now, my first suggestion is transfer this to a card or something where you can put it up, where you can see it every day. Preferably put it up where you can see it at the beginning of the day, before you go off to put the day together. This is a good phrase just to glance at, to keep in mind as you're putting the day together. It's called the silent seminar. If you'll just let this talk to you during the day, I found it to be tremendously helpful. The major key to your better future is you. For a big share of my life now, I didn't have this one quite figured out, among a lot of things I didn't have quite figured out. Many things used to puzzle me back in those early days. I used to wonder why two people could work for the same company, one make twice as much money. Now see, that used to puzzle me. And maybe they were the same age, graduated from the same school, live in the same community, work for the same company, with the same products and the same services. They've got the same traffic, the same problems, and one makes $1,000 a month, the other one makes $2,000 a month. Now that was my puzzling question. Why would this long list be the same and the money twice as much? I asked, what's the difference between $1,000 a month and $2,000 a month? And I don't mean $1,000 a month, right? I could figure that out. But what makes the difference? Why would one person do twice as well, 3 times as well? Speaking economically, now I know there's more than one way to do well. I understand that. But in this little narrow area called compensation, what's the difference? Well, back then, with my faulty thinking, I'm trying to reason it out. I thought, well, maybe time makes some of the difference, right? Some people do better because they have more time. I used to say, Harold ought to be able to do well. He's got a lot of time. If I had all of Harold's time, I could do well. Now that's got to be dumb, right? Number one, you can't get somebody else's time. A guy says to me one time, he says, you know, if I had some extra time, I could make some extra money. I said, then forget it. There isn't any extra time. Hey, when the clock strikes 12 midnight, that about wraps it up, right? I mean, you can look around the gongs there for a little more, but it's over. You say to the guy, what are you doing? He says, I'm looking for extra time. See, they'll come and take you away, right? There isn't any more time. Now, if you can't get more time, which you can't, what could you get more of that would make a difference in economic results? And here's the key word. Make it a part of your notes. We're going to consider it tonight. The word is value. And I have a little phrase for your notes. Value makes the difference in results.